Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. The notice of motion that's put up by Senator Ruston is basically saying that the following, allowing them to be considered during this period of sittings. Now, we're coming to the end of the year, and some of these bills are very important that they get passed. With regards to the Social Security Administration Amendment, continuation of the cashless welfare bill needs to be passed. If not, it will come to an end on the 1st of January, and that exactly the intentions of both the Greens, who have opposed this constantly over a period of time.
Order, Senator Siewert.
Even the Labor Party stating that this is about balancing their budget, it's got nothing to do about it. I actually went to the hearing in Kalgoorlie. There was only a handful of senators that were there. I don't know how many senators have actually been to hear the debate that has gone on with regards to the cashless debit card. Now, the government didn't go out there and say, we are actually going to put this cashless debit card—
Senator Hanson, please resume your seat.
Thank you.
With all due respect, Senator Siewert was heard in silence. I would ask her colleagues to show the same courtesy to other speakers in what is a procedural debate to determine whether there will be a debate on these bills over the remaining course of this week. Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much, Mr President. It might be very hard for them because that's their character, that's their nature. But anyway, the fact is that the government didn't go out there and say, we're going to put this cashless debit card in the Kimberleys or in Kalgoorlie or in Hervey Bay or Bundaberg or Ceduna for that matter. These communities came to the government asking for this to be put into those communities.
Senator Chisholm.
Now, having a meeting with these communities, we're talking about— we spoke to—
Senator Chisholm, count to 10. Quietly. Order. Senator, resume your seat, Senator Hanson. Senator Chisholm, the place will be a very messy last few days if people completely ignore the chair, no matter who's in it. There is an opportunity to debate this later on. This is a procedural debate to determine whether there will be an opportunity to debate it later on. Can it please be conducted with courtesy? Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. The whole fact is that we're having allegations thrown around this chamber, and those people who have not had the opportunity to go to hear what the communities were saying, it is important what I offer to this debate. Now, we actually heard from the reports from the Police Association that domestic violence was on the decline, that even alcohol abuse is on the decline, that it has assisted communities. Not only that, I haven't got the numbers, I have asked for the figures, but people have asked to opt into this cashless debit card, so they actually see the benefits of it. You also have to understand, in these communities, the Aboriginal culture is you've got family members and others in the community that are actually going and forcing them to take monies out of their account so they don't have the money to
Senator Hanson, I did call Senator Waters to order earlier. I'm referring to it, not pointing at you, Senator Waters. This is a procedural motion about whether bills will be dealt with this week. We should not be debating the substance of the bills as much as whether or not they should be exempt from the Senate's cut-off order. If it's adopted, there will be an opportunity to debate the bills. I just ask all senators to keep in mind this is not the time for substantive debate on these bills. Senator Hanson.
If I'm doing that, it was in response to Senator Siewert and her comments with regards to this. It is so important to these communities that we continue with the cashless debit card. The response saying that we know what it's all about, what they intend to do is roll it out to the rest of the country. That is not the case at all. It will not be going to. It will not go into any other communities. It will be taken to the next election if they intend to do that. So that's not the truth. No, you have no evidence of it whatsoever from the Greens, no evidence of whatsoever. And I'm sick of these allegations being thrown around this chamber. There is also the fact that it said it's going to tie in pensioners and those who are on invalid pensions. That's not the case at all. It is of working age group people that are tied up in this, especially those in Hervey Bay and Bundaberg who are 35 years and under. So it is so important. A lot of people have actually got off the alcohol, wasting money on that. There is reports that children are now getting fed. The mothers can buy the food. They still have 20% of their money in cash to spend how they wish to spend it. People, sometimes there's such a thing as tough love, that you need people to take responsibility. So if you are quite happy with people going to spend their money on alcohol, become inebriated to the fact that they have domestic violence.
Hanson, I've got Senator Hanson-Young on a point of order. Senator Hanson-Young.
Asking for you to reflect on the imputation made by Senator Hanson just then, in relation to suggesting that others in this chamber want people to go and spend all their money on alcohol and being inebriated.
Okay, I didn't catch that, Senator Hanson-Young. I'll reflect on the Hansard or video and come back to the chamber or address it to senators as appropriate. Senator Hanson.
Touchy. So anyway,
Order.
the fact is...
Senator Hanson-Young.
Thank you.
Point of order, Senator Hanson-Young.
Point of order. We have every right in this chamber to make points of order, and I would ask Senator Hanson, through you, Chair, if she wants to stand by what she said, she can say it again and you can hear it and you can make a decision. But just throwing around that people's points of orders make them touchy, there'll be a lot more of it.
Senator Hanson-Young, I've said before I don't think anyone in the chamber can claim they're entirely innocent with all their, whether it be disorderly behaviour, whether it be interjections or not. I remind senators that one of the ways of maintaining decorum for a debate like this is to stick to the motion, which is whether or not bills should be exempt from the cut-off order rather than address substantive issues. I gave some latitude to Senator Siewert to do that. Senator Hanson, I have given you the same amount of latitude, and I urge you to come, as I did to Senator Waters earlier this morning, to address the suspension, to address the procedural motion before the chair. These other matters can be left to debate if the Senate so determines it. Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. You know, some of us in this chamber have got thick skin and others don't. But anyway, that comes with age and wisdom and knowledge. The fact is that what I'm saying here is it's very important that we deal with this notice of motion and that we deal with the cashless debit card in the chamber. It is going to impact on a lot of people. So I'm calling on the senators here. You may have your disagreements with this and you say it's against the human rights, which the Greens have said all along, and you're denying people their right. The people are on this welfare payments purely because of the grace of the taxpayers of this nation that has given them the ability to actually access money. We as people, we must also understand a lot of people are tied up on drug addiction, alcohol and gambling. That is a big problem here as well. If it is helping these people, if it is saving just a few lives in these communities, surely that's got to be taken into consideration. That's where, you know, I know the Labor Party is not going to support this because that's their voter base. How dare you deny the people of actually being, you know, controlled and how their money is spent? We talk about the sexual abuse of children in this chamber. That comes from people who are inebriated, who may be alcohol, maybe drugs. We actually see the incline in domestic violence. Why aren't you prepared to actually say, OK, if it leads to this of spending the money where they do spend it wrongly, that is impacting on their daily lives? Why can't you make the decisions based on what is right for these communities? The people have been crying out for it. When you have meetings with these people, they are crying out for it. These communities came to the government and put their own hand up for it. They wanted this card. And if you don't pass this with a cashless debit card, it's going to go back to the basics card up in the Cape. So this is very important.
Order.
At least
Senator,
give them further trial.
Senator Faruqi on a point of order.
Mr. President, point of order is about relevance to the debate. Senator Hanson-Young is completely straying into— oh, sorry, Sarah. My deepest apologies to Senator Hanson-Young. Senator Hanson is definitely straying into the substance of the bill and not debating the motion in front of us. So I would request that you call her to order.
And as I said, Senator Hanson, I did give Senator Siewert quite a bit of latitude on addressing this. Senator Hanson, I have asked you now, because I've given you a similar amount of latitude, to come to the procedural matter.
Mr. President, and that's exactly where I was headed, and encouraging the members to actually vote for this and allow this to be dealt with this week in the chamber, and I've explained my reasons why it needs to be dealt with. So I call on the senators, even those on the crossbench who may be leaning against not voting for this, and I know that Senator Patrick went up to Ceduna over the weekend to see for himself and use the card himself. So I'm calling on those crossbench senators that actually need to real common sense that we actually pass this legislation before Parliament is finished.
Senator McCarthy.